So the sun moved into Taurus yesterday, and we went from 1/4 square moon to another. We have the moon in Aquarius today, which honestly, it's Easter. And this kind of moon with this sun placement is going to make for a very interesting family dinner, especially when we're talking about prayer, since the moon in Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and Pisces. I can just imagine with the political climate that we're in and how so many families are a bit divided at this time. What kind of prayers, what kind of petty prayers will be had at the dinner table today? Because when the moon is in Aquarius, we're feeling rebellious. We're focusing in on our independence. We're focusing on friends and communities. Things get a little unstable. Things get a little crazy when the moon is in Aquarius because we see our emotions in a sign that loves to expect the unexpected and it loves to shock. And then we have to add in that the moon is passing over Pluto at this same time. And so things are getting very intense, at least today. We'll start to see less of that as the moon continues to move through Aquarius tomorrow. However, the moon is still squaring the sun, and so people are still feeling very feisty, very rebellious, very contrary. The ruler of this moon is actually second house to this moon, and so we're really looking at tightening our belts as far as like budgeting or what our resources are. What do we care about? What are our values? The sun is reflecting that as well. And when we have the moon in Aquarius squaring the sun, that has everything to do with our comforts, income, values, we can see a bit of instability in those situations. And so for that reason, I say it's very interesting that we have the moon in Aquarius on Easter, where we can see a little bit more of division when it comes to boundaries, as well as how each person feels about their values and they're speaking up about it. And then we have to add in that we have the Mars-Pluto opposition. I did a whole video on that opposition already, and it's pinned in my account. And so if you would like to check that out, go ahead and do so. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, that video was uploaded. I'll try and see if I can pin it. So yeah, we have quite the thick sign T-square going on here. And the way you can think about a T-square is like getting T-boned by cars. It's just messy. And what do we do to navigate a T-square? We focus on the planet that's the apex. And in this case, that would be the sun in Taurus. So what I would say as far as navigating the next couple days is going to be essentially to stand on business where it's necessary to stand on business, especially when it comes to finances, when it comes to your value systems, when it comes to your self-esteem, protecting you essentially, because this T-square really reminds us that we are not capable of controlling everything. All we can do is control ourselves, make sure that we are speaking up where it matters, and to just let the rest kind of do its own thing. Like I said, we can't control everything. So the only thing we can do is control ourselves. So be very aware of where you're investing your time, where you're investing your money, where you're investing your energy during this T-square in particular. Because honestly, even when the moon moves out of Aquarius and into Pisces, we're still going to be in this opposition energy until next week. So take one step at a time. So take one day at a time, like I said, like I've been saying this whole week, and just do the best you can. Move slowly, like Taurus. You don't have to always react to things, or you don't always have to say something in response to what somebody else is saying. Taurus is about methodical, practical thought, as well as focusing in on, essentially when we're talking about communicating or being in a relationship with somebody, when is it a good time to act? And when is it just a good time to have strategic silence? Because let's not forget that Taurus just takes from Aries energy and it continues running with it. And so when we're talking about power struggles here, not everything needs to be spoken on. Not everything needs to be reacted to. Sometimes some good calculation is the best way to go about plotting your revenge, going about your scheming. Or don't scheme at all. But whatever you do, just make sure that you've thought through it, because quick action just doesn't bode well with this kind of, or quick and impulsive action just doesn't bode well in this energy. And as promised, I have an announcement about the relaunch of my website and all the good things that you can find on there when it does launch on Friday, April 27th, which is of course the new moon in Taurus. On this site, you'll be able to, of course, book your personal consultations with me, but you'll also get to book classes. I'm super excited. One of the classes that I will be offering will be an Astrology 101 class. We're going to start out there because I am definitely the type of teacher that likes to dive into the why so that you have a strong understanding of what you're talking about and you're not just going off of stereotypes like a lot of people on this app. See, there we go. There's that shade of the T-squared. Yes, that Astrology 101 course that is going to be available on my website is going to be both in its live form as well as it will be in its own recorded form, so that if you don't want to or you can't make the live classes, that you can also just follow along at your own pace. That course will come with quizzes, it'll come with reading, it'll come with all kinds of handouts to help you study and to make sure that you're really absorbing the information. Because in my courses, I really strive to help people understand the building blocks of astrology first, so that you can make your own kind of interpretations. I never want any of my students to just parrot essentially what I've told them as far as astrology. Astrology is such an art form and it's its own language, and I'd be doing a huge disservice in a course for me to not teach you how to basically make your own interpretation. And so, yeah, I'm very excited about taking clients again. I have not taken clients since last year around this time, and also teaching again. I love to teach, and so I'm very excited about that as well. Other than that, you guys, I will see you soon, and we'll have more announcements about what you can expect on the site throughout this week. And so other than that, I will talk to you guys in the next one. Happy Easter for those that celebrate it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.